All right, Tucker, we are live. Lineup Legends, week 16. We can cut that. Just kidding, live broadcast. All right, so Tucker and I are playing each other in year 11 of our home league. All of our middle school, high school buddies. We've been playing in this league for 11 years. Tucker has never won a championship. He won one in year one, but he cheated, so we took his title from him. So this is his redemption. This is his attempt at a perfectly legal victory. Who's to say if he can achieve it? The only thing in the way of him and his first trophy is this guy. I'm feeling confident. I've got Kittle back this week. Tucker, give me a percentage between 0 and 100. How confident are you that you're going to beat me this week for the championship?
Yeah, first, real quick clarification. Didn't cheat. We didn't have established rules, so I didn't play by any.
Okay, so we didn't have established rules. So what Tucker didn't know, and credit to him. How do you know that you're not supposed to lend players? You can't just give players to a team and expect them to give those players back a few weeks later so you can beat a specific opponent. You would think that's fair, right? Like you would think there's no problem with that.
I mean, listen, me in 8th grade felt pretty validated, okay? Seemed legit. Anyways, percentage, how confident am I I'm gonna destroy you?
Yeah.
It's pretty close. It is close. I'm gonna say like 55%. I'm above 50. Like I'm pretty positive I'm gonna beat you, but not like it's gonna be close. I mean, based on projections and based on what I think is gonna happen, it will be close. But I am gonna win. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think I think it's going to come down to three players and their status for this weekend. It's going to come down to Julio Jones. Because if Julio's out, Calvin Ridley's ceiling is much higher. It's going to come down to Ezekiel Elliott. Because if Zeke doesn't play, Tony Pollard is a clutch fringe RB1 for me. And then Gaskin. If Myles Gaskin doesn't play, I can play Ahmed as my RB2, and I'm cooking. If any of those if between 2 and 3 of those guys that I need to play, I don't think I can beat you. If at least two sit, I think I have a really good chance because there's some big upside is added if any of those guys sit. So right now I'm sitting, I'm thinking about like 45%, but I'm kind of assuming those guys are going to play. That's why I'm a little low. But if any of them sit, then I think that really helps my odds. Plus Kittle, man, if Kittle's playing a full slate of snaps, it's game over, dude.
Which it won't be, but I mean, I think your best chance is Pollard here if Zeke doesn't play. I think if
Zeke doesn't play and I get Pollard, dude, I'm excited back. Just because if I were to win with Pollard, it would be because I earned it with a smart move. Just same with Kittle. Like if Kittle won me the ship, I could always know that I earned it with that move. Like it would be satisfying to know I made a savvy move to secure the ship.
I think it'd be pretty gross, but ride with the boys you've been riding with all season, or don't at all, man.
Yeah,
I'm scared of Pollard. I'll be honest. I'm terrified of Pollard.
Yeah. You better hope Zeke doesn't play. I don't know, man. Like the Cowboys are still in the playoff race, which stinks because that means they probably will bring Zeke back. Which means I can't confidently play Pollard if Zeke is in the lineup. I'm just hoping that they're like, here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that they are kind of thinking like, we kind of like Pollard as our running back. Let's see what we have in him for another week because if Zeke is active and he's healthy, then if he's not the starting running back, then they have a whole running back controversy on their hands. Like, oh, did you just bench Zeke? Like you're $70 million man. Did you just bench him? So like, is Zeke benched? Whereas if they're like, oh, he needs another week to get healthy, they have every excuse to give Pollard 25 touches in the backfield and just see what they have. Because I don't think they're going to get an opportunity to see what they have in Pollard as a running back, as a featured back, if Zeke is in the lineup and on the active roster.
Yeah, I would say it's like 13 versus 22 touches. That's what's going to happen with Pollard if Zeke's in.
Yeah. I think Pollard has at the very least earned some passing down work, which we already saw before Zeke's injury. Like we saw Pollard getting more active there, earning more touches there. I think he's earned his way to at least, I want to say like at least like a 40-60 split, given how bad Zeke's been and how good Pollard's been. So who knows? Like maybe there's a situation where I'd still play Pollard. Depending on, it's going to depend on like beat writers, what they're saying. Like if Zeke is like kind of active but not active, one of those situations. So
yeah, I mean
see.
before Zeke wasn't playing, I mean they were even on touches, so it's
yeah. Well, it'll be a fun one to see. I think that's kind of the X factor for this week.
right.
All right. Well, without further ado, you ready to jump in?
Yeah, let's do it. Championship week, baby.
Championship week. Let's lock it in. Friday, we have Minnesota at New Orleans. Okay, so these games are all going to be in my time. Thursday night, we have Minnesota at New Orleans. Not
No.
6:30 a.m.
That is a Friday game.
Oh, really?
That is
Oh,
a Friday game, 4:30. Yep. I have no
Oh.
idea why, but it is a Friday game at 4:30.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay, Friday game at 4:30 p.m. Interesting. Okay, anyway, so we have Minnesota taking on New Orleans. I got Dalvin Cook, so I'm feeling pretty pumped to have him in my championship week. He's healthy. That's all you can really ask for at this point. I know it's a tough matchup, but Cook has proven to be matchup proof. I think it does limit his ceiling a bit, but I'm super excited about him. Just to have him healthy in the championship, he's just a bell cow that can go off any given week. I don't see why he couldn't go off this week, especially because he's been very involved in the passing game. So really pumped about Cook this week. What's your outlook on the Vikings receivers this week against New Orleans?
So I mean, I really like Justin Jefferson, but Adam Thielen's kind of scaring me a little bit, I'd say. He's not getting all those targets that he's. Well, I mean, he's not really known for the targets. He's known for the touchdowns, and he's getting touchdowns. But he's not really getting the targets he needs to make me feel comfortable. Justin Jefferson's getting a lot of these. He's getting end zone looks as well. I mean, Justin Jefferson's the guy I'd rather play here.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson seems like he's proven to be like the electric player in that offense. We all know Thielen's an amazing receiver, but I don't know. Like from what we've seen from Jefferson, it's hard to say. It's hard to say that he should be second on the totem pole in terms of targets. He's just an absolute electric player. They have one of the best receiving corps in the NFL right now, or at least receiving duos with Thielen and Jefferson. It'll be interesting to see what the Saints do here on offense without Michael Thomas. He's on IR now. I have to think Kamara is just going to get peppered with targets. With Drew Brees back, no more Taysom Hill. I know that probably breaks your heart, Tucker. We have
tragic
Drew Brees, who loves dumping off to Kamara. So I expect to see a lot of that in this one, especially in a game with an over-under of 51.5 points. Should be plenty of passing, scoring to go around. Is Kamara your RB1 for the week?
I don't think so. He's definitely top 3 though. I mean, he should be awesome. I'll let you know who the number 1 is as we go down the road. Should be pretty clear and obvious.
That's probably going to be Derrick Henry against Green Bay.
Wow, you're a mind reader. That's amazing.
Yeah. Do you have any more comments on this game? I think I pretty much touched on everything I want to say.
That's pretty good. I think Dalvin Cook is in for a tough matchup with the Saints. They've let up 120 plus fantasy scorer in PPR, and that was Miles Sanders 2 weeks ago. With Jalen Hurts first start, but they haven't really in terms of running backs, they haven't really faced a really big challenge like Dalvin Cook yet this season. So it could go his way. We'll see.
All right, dude. Should I tweet out a link to this, by the way, on my Fantasy Pros account, that I write the articles on?
By all means, whatever you want, man. It's up to you.
All right.
Tweet out the Gamecast for our fantasy.
The what?
The Gamecast. some people can watch.
game?
Keep up. I don't think you can actually do that. I was just
The Game Pass?
Gamecast. I was just
Gamecast. I
yeah,
see.
it was a joke.
My bad, I missed that. This is why we need viewers to point out when you're making jokes. Okay, Tucker, lead us into our next matchup here.
Yeah, we'll go to Tampa Bay and Detroit. This should be just not a very good game. Leonard Fournette's the starting running back for the Buccaneers, and as of right now, anyways, I don't think Ronald Jones is playing, which means Leonard Fournette is a great play. He'll be awesome against the Lions, and I mean he's a plug and play. You just slide him right into your lineup, and don't worry about it.
I don't know. I think Jones might be back. I think Jones might be coming back.
Right. That's saying if Jones is playing. If Jones is playing. If Jones is not playing. I mean, if Jones is not playing, Fournette, slide him in. It's kind of up in the air right now, or has anything changed on your end?
I want to say it's looking like Jones is going to play.
Yeah. Okay. Then I mean, I kind of like either of them as a flex. Funny enough, I think they could both be decent options against Detroit. Detroit's pretty bad against the run. And I think the Lions. Go ahead. No, you got it.
I think this one's going to be fun. I'm really excited about this matchup. It has a over under of 54 points. I'm pretty pumped, honestly. Like I think this could be high scoring, as the Vegas totals indicate. Sorry, I was tweeting out the link, so I feel like I've been saying nothing for the last 5 seconds. I think it's going to be a fun one, honestly. I think 54-point over-under. I'm pretty hyped for that. Love to see that. Let's see, what else? I think that the Buccaneers side of the ball, again, it's going to be tough to predict who goes off a receiver. Good to see AB get in the end zone, but seems like he's, if he doesn't hit on that deep shot, what are you getting from him, But I feel like both of these offenses do have the firepower to, partake in a pretty nice shootout here. So I'm pretty excited about this one, honestly. I think it'll be a fun offensive battle.
Yeah, I'm excited if you have Buccaneers. I think the Lions are going to struggle. And I mean, it's going to be a rough one for them. I think the Buccaneers defense is still pretty good. And I'd rather have Buccaneers in this game. That's all.
Yeah. Marvin Jones. What do you think about him this week?
I'm not particularly interested. if I can avoid playing him, I definitely would.
I mean, he went off last week. How are you gonna take that away from him?
Yeah, that's Marvin Jones does that on occasion. I mean, it's not. It just doesn't. I mean, you can get 10 points out of him probably. Like that's probably a good floor for him is 10. And he does have a high upside without Golladay there, but I mean, I wouldn't bank on it. I wouldn't be like, hey, this is the guy that's going to get me that. I think that the chance of upside is lower than you apparently think.
Yeah, I like him in this one. I like Marvin Jones, so we'll keep an eye on that one. But I think I could end up being right about this one.
Okay. Sure.
Okay, let's take it to our next matchup.
Yep. Arizona, San Francisco.
AKA
another Saturday game here.
We have the return of George Kittle, who's going to win me a fantasy championship this week. Worth noting is until signing, did you hear San Francisco signed Josh Rosen to their active roster from the Bucs practice squad? Until they did that, they had nobody behind. CJ Beathard active. So if Beathard were to get injured, they would have had to have like a Kendall Hinton situation where they start a running back. They were talking about Kyle Juszczyk as their emergency quarterback. So I was thinking about like, as a Kittle manager, like that would actually have affected my decision because if Beathard goes down the first possession and they're starting a skill player, Richie James at emergency quarterback, it's like Kittle's done like that. He's getting nothing out of that game. So it's good to know that now they're going to have Rosen on the active roster. So worst case, if Beathard were to go down, at least they have somebody at quarterback that can get the ball to Kittle, get the ball to Ayuk. So that's just like a small thing that I feel like is worth noting for the SF offense. I feel like Kittle is going to be back. It sounds like Shanahan is going to play him if he's healthy. Seems like he's healthy. I'm starting him over everyone except Kelsey and Waller. Expectations for Kittle this week, Tucker. And don't be biased just because I have him. Don't be biased. Give me your
no. I mean, so it's gonna come down to practice reports and what people are saying. Is he gonna get the full slate of reps that fantasy owners are hoping he's going to get? Because right now it's a little unsure. You know, it's a little unsure whether or not he's going to even play. And my thoughts are what I've been saying this whole time is if he comes back, he's going to be limited, and it depends on what you think you can do. Limited work. I would rather not play Kittle with limited snaps with CJ Beathard as his quarterback. It just doesn't feel, and it is Kittle. That's the thing that's going to keep on coming back to mind. It's like, it's George Kittle. It's George Kittle. I don't like it. I would stay away from it. But hey, do you, man? If that's what you think is the right play.
I certainly see the downside of it. Like, I think that is what I'll do is I'll check the beat writers, see what they're thinking, the Athletic, what do they think? Do they see a snap count for him? But my thinking is this. Shanahan was talking in an interview yesterday about this exact thing. And he was saying, they were like, why would you play Kittle given that San Francisco has nothing to play for? And he was saying that basically, how can I look the rest of the guys in the eye in the locker room who are, a lot of those guys are playing at 80%, 90%, and they're going out in the field. They're putting it all out there every single week. How can I look them in the eye and expect them to play and put their best on the field when we've got a guy, if he's fully healthy, that we'd be holding back? Like, no, that's not how we play in this locker room. If he's fully healthy, he's going to be out there. That's how we play as a team. It would be an injustice to the rest of the team if that weren't the case. So it sounds like they're only going to play him if he's fully healthy. But if he's fully healthy, they're playing him, which makes me think he's going to have a full snap count because they're not going to throw him out there if he's not fully healthy. And Kittle's a competitor. He's going to be fighting for snaps. He's going to be fighting for the ball. I want that on my team. I want that in my championship roster. And I'll bite the bullet. If he puts up one catch for 6 yards, I'll take that because you know what? I'm playing with house money now. I didn't expect to come this far. I didn't expect to be playing the championship. Let's freaking go. I didn't keep Kittle on my roster just to watch him on my bench in week 16. If he's out there, I'm just sending it, man. This is what I'm doing. I'm going all in.
No, I like it. I mean, it depends on who your other options are too. I'd rather roll out like probably Hawkinson. I'd rather roll out than Kittle this week, but probably Hunter Henry than Kittle. But there are a lot of guys I'd play Kittle over as well. I get it.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll have to see.
Definitely going to be interesting. He wasn't. What a return for him if he does come back for week 16 for fantasy. It's going to be really, really interesting to watch.
That's all I have to say on this game, Tucker. What about you?
Yeah, just about for your Cardinals, you're playing your main guys. Drake and Edmonds are both. I don't know if Drake's still questionable. He was a little banged up from the last game. I think he should be good to go though.
Okay, let's move to Miami and Las Vegas. Marcus Mariota looking sneaky good in relief of Derek Carr when Carr went out with that groin injury. But I gotta say, this Miami defense looks legit. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did they pick off Patrick Mahomes 3 times 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, they did.
Last week? 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Yeah, their defense is good. It is really good, and whoever starts for the Raiders is going to struggle. Does that mean Darren Waller's going to struggle? No, of course not. He's amazing, and that's an unbiased and biased opinion. A little bit of both, but he is awesome. But yeah, Marcus Mariota looked really good in place of Carr. If it's him, if it's Carr, I'm not sure. I'm assuming it's Mariota. But that should not worry you with Waller. He's still just put him in your lineup. Don't worry about it. I think the Dolphins running backs are the thing to watch going up into the game. Gaskin is he still on the COVID list currently?
Yeah, Gaskin's still on the COVID list. Plus, it's a Saturday game, so that's worth noting. Here's my question for you, Tucker. All season, we've seen Miami commit to. They like to have one running back, like one
Mm-hmm.
primary back. It seems like when Gaskin and Ahmed are out, that's when they go with a rotation of like Breida, Washington, Laird, those guys. But it seems like when one of either Ahmed um, or Gaskin are active, that's the bell cow running back. So, do you think if Gaskin and Ahmed are both active, both of those guys play a role, or do you think Gaskin resumes that bell cow role following Ahmed's 100 plus yard rushing game, the first time in forever Miami's had that?
Yeah, so I do think Gaskin cedes some carries to Ahmed. I mean, that's a heck of a game. 23 carries, 22 carries for
Did you
122
hear
or
the
something like
story?
that.
The story behind that, by the way, super cool. His grandma was in the hospital, and he promised her he's going to put up a 100-yard game for her. Went out and did it. Pretty sweet, honestly.
Yeah, I
Uh,
love that. That's awesome.
yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, I love hearing stuff like that. There's somebody else did it this year. Corey Davis, maybe his brother died or something like that, and he popped off that next game. Just love seeing that stuff. That's a real tribute. But yeah, he did get 20 something carries. Now Matt Breida did get 12 or 13 carries as well in the last one, which is very interesting to note. That they're just going to run the ball like that. I mean, but I think that kind of is closer to what you're going to see with Ahmed. Like I could see Ahmed getting 13 carries still. I mean, he's earned them, and I don't think the Dolphins can just shy away from that. So I think they do split it. I don't know if it's even, probably 70-30, something like that. But I still expect Ahmed to get some carries. I don't think it'll be enough to make him a start. That is if Gaskin plays, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I agree with you there. And honestly, that's pretty much all that's really the main thing I wanted to talk about on this Miami side of the ball here.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, all the receivers are injured pretty much. I think they all probably have a good chance to play, but I wouldn't even trust them that much. I mean, if Parker plays, maybe just for end zone potential, but that's it.
Okay, Atlanta, Kansas City. This one has serious shootout potential here. We'll see if Atlanta is able to live up to the occasion. Over under 54 points, tied for second highest on the week behind Green Bay, Tennessee, and tied with Tampa Bay, Detroit. This one has potential to be a lot of fun. I think we saw Ridley go off again without Julio last week. If Julio sits this week, Kansas City's been pretty good against opposing fantasy receivers, but it's going to be a high-scoring game where Atlanta's going to be forced to throw the ball to keep up. They're already a pass-heavy offense as is. I really like Ridley this week. If Julio sits, even if Julio plays, Ridley has a really good chance at a nice ceiling game here. Yeah, and then Ito Smith is apparently like the lead back now for the Falcons. Not a ton of upside there. They just don't really use their running backs that much in the passing game. Plus, Brian Hill is involved. I have Ito Smith on my roster just as a desperation if nothing else works out, just because he has a chance at a touchdown if he's really going to be their primary ball carrier. But that's about it. Thoughts on this game, Tucker? Are you excited to watch this one?
Yeah, especially as a Chiefs fan, I'm very excited to watch this one. It doesn't matter if we lose, so it's just going to be fun to watch. It should. I'm gonna take the over for sure. Like 54 points, easy over. I think there are a lot of points scored in this one. Hopefully not to your guys. But I think Ridley does have a good game, especially if Julio's out. If Julio's back in, a little bit different story, but honestly, probably still a good game for Ridley. The Chiefs have a very good secondary, but having watched them a lot, we do make mistakes. We do make like little blunders that really cost us, and I could see one of those blunders being Calvin Ridley wide open in the end zone. Their run defense not very good. So yeah, Ito Smith is a potential play, but like you said, they don't really pass the ball. I wouldn't feel comfortable with it. But if you're super desperate, like you said, not a bad look. Other than that, you're starting all your Chiefs, including Le'Veon Bell, as CEH is out for the foreseeable future. So.
Okay. All right, moving on to the next game, Cleveland and New York. I mean, guess the over-under on this one, Tucker. I'm curious what you think it'll be.
Let's say 40?
40? No, 47. 47. 40, I think, was the over-under of that Broncos game where they didn't have a quarterback.
Well, my guess is like, okay, I'm assuming the Browns are going to score all the points, and I don't know. I would take the under on 47 100%.
Yeah, 47. Browns favored by 9.5. To be honest, not really much I'm excited to watch here. Do you think the Jets can win 2 straight?
Absolutely not. I cannot believe they won a game. That's very funny to me. I mean, Jags are happy, whatever.
Is Jarvis Landry a top 24 wide receiver this week?
Top 24. Right around there. Yeah, I think
is
he's gonna be
Austin
good.
Hooper a top 10 tight end this week?
Top 10? Yeah.
Okay. That's all I care to hear.
Yep. That's all we need to talk about. I think Baker's a great play if he's on your waiver wire.
Yeah, Baker has a lot of potential this week. Baker, he had some of those bad weather games, and I don't know that I gave him enough credit for those. I think I did, discount the numbers a little bit, but I don't think I did that enough. He's looking good in this offense. I feel like the play action pass, given how good their run game is right now, is really working out for him. So Baker is a great play this week. Great streamer, great cheap. He's not cheap enough in DFS for me. Like, I'd prefer Drew Lock at his price to Baker Mayfield at his price, but he's definitely a good look as a streamer in season-long leagues for Week 16.
Yeah, I didn't. I got an update the other day saying Baker is a top 3 quarterback the last several weeks, which is in fantasy, which is really I just didn't realize. That's all.
Yeah, he's quietly had a really solid season. If you take out those, nasty weather games that they had, his numbers start to look pretty solid. So I'm excited for him the rest of this season and also next year, just to see how much he steps up. This system seems to be really good. Kevin Stefanski seems to run a really solid system that suits Cleveland's offensive skill players really well.
Right.
All right. Take us into Pittsburgh, Indianapolis.
Pittsburgh, Indy. Yeah, I think this is hopefully a get right game for Pittsburgh, but honestly, I don't know. I think the Colts DFS is a low-key sneaky play, because Ben has not been looking good, unfortunately, and you hate to see it. I don't know why or what's going on, but that Steelers offense is not looking anything close to what they were looking earlier in the season. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the only guy I really like on the Steelers offense is Deontay Johnson, who continually is underrated. Like, for some reason, he's constantly ranked as like a like low end wide receiver 2. He's always priced that way too in DFS. Like, he's still too cheap in DFS. I know his average depth of target is on the lower end, but at this offense's worst this past week, he was a top 12 receiving option, and he's seen double-digit targets in every single full game he's played. Like, it's insane. He's so slept on. I think Deontay Johnson every week is a great play. I know it's not the best matchup in Indianapolis, but he's such a good route runner that given what he's asked to do in this offense, he's a great play every single week. A rock solid wide receiver 2 with wide receiver 1 upside. Outside of him, though, there's nobody on the Steelers offense I'm really excited about.
Yeah, for the most part, I agree with you. I do think Deontay Johnson is the one I really want to play week in, week out. I have a feeling the rankings, the DFS value may come down to just the random possibility that he gets benched for drops again, which I don't think is going to happen. I think you're very safe playing Deontay Johnson. I think Chase Claypool still is not a terrible option, but maybe not against the Colts. I don't know. The Colts are a very good defense. They've been extremely stout. I think the Steelers struggle in this one overall. So yeah, Deontay Johnson's the one I really want to roll with, and the rest of them,
Yeah, we've seen Michael Pittman completely disappear. He's not a thing anymore. Literally, Zach Pascal was getting more opportunities last week. But yeah, T.Y. Hilton, I think, has a chance for another solid game. It seems like he's really coming into his own, finally gelling with Phillip Rivers, and then Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor just, I don't know what happened. I don't know if you have any insight into this, but he's been really good as of late. I mean, his last 4 weeks in PPR, 19.5 points, 30.5 points, 22.5 points, 15.4 points. The 3 weeks before that, 5.7, 9.4, 5.1. I'm not sure what happened, but Taylor is a rock solid play, even against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they've always been a team that is known to ride the hot hand, and he's been the hot hand, so they've been rolling with it and continuing to get him carries, and they finally found out what he can do, and he's finally unleashed his potential there. And I mean, Nyheim Hines, his snaps have been going down every week. I am definitely no longer interested in playing Hines, especially not against the Steelers. So really the only Colt I'm interested in is Jonathan Taylor, and you gotta. I know it's championship week. If you don't have the guys, then you don't have the guys. But Jonathan Taylor is the guy I want to start. Otherwise, no.
Okay, I see we have a viewer. This is big news for us. To our viewer, hello, welcome to the show, Lineup Legends, Week 16. This is a big development. But moving on to our next game, we have Chicago-Jacksonville, the thriller of the week, probably the game I'm most excited about. Guess the over/under on this one, Tucker.
It's probably about the same as the Browns.
And our viewer is gone already.
Yeah, it's because you said you're the most excited about the Bears Jags. What are you doing? They go, oh 47. God, these guys are idiots. All right, moving on.
The over/under is 47. James Robinson might not play. Not a lot to look forward to in this game. I'm guessing Dare Ungubawale. I know I mispronounced that. And
pretty close.
Divine Ozigbo will be splitting work, I would guess. I'm not really sure how that backfield would shake out if Robinson does miss, but I'm not expecting that much regardless. There's not really anybody Allen Robinson is set up really nicely here. Cole Kmet, if you're in a pinch. David Montgomery, absolutely. He's just been amazing. Let me read you David Montgomery's last 4 games. 29.2, 24.5, 27.1, 25.3 PPR points. Mm-hmm. That's insane, man. Guess when the last time David Montgomery had less than single-digit points?
Single-digit points.
Yeah, guess when the PPR.
Let's say week 9.
Week 3.
Week 3. Wow.
His third game of the season, he had 7.4 PPR points. And he's only hit single digits twice this season. His first game and his third game. Literally, that's crazy. For as low a ceiling he had early in the season, he was mad consistent. And now the fact that he's added the ceiling on top of that, he's just turned into a true RB1, which is crazy. I don't think I expected that from Montgomery. So that's really good to see from him. I'm super excited about him in this matchup as well.
Yeah, no, similar to Jonathan Taylor. He's just been looking great. So I agree. Yeah.
He used to be so cheap. He's like the past few weeks he's been massively underpriced in DFS, even last week when he finally bumped up a price tier. But now he's finally pretty much priced out of any sort of arbitrage there. He's pretty expensive, but he's in a great matchup, so he's worth a play. So yeah, that's kind of who I'm thinking about this week. Any more comments on this game, Tucker?
No, I mean I pretty much agree. James Robinson. My bet is he doesn't play. The Jags are trying to lose games for the rest of the season. I mean, they have a first pick on the line. They have a first pick on the line. So my bet is the only person trying to win this game is probably Gardner Minshew. Everyone else wants to lose. So yeah, I expect it to be a rough one for them.
Okay. Agreed, my friend. Let's go ahead and move on to New York and Baltimore. Tucker, do you think New York can win this game?
I mean, there's always a possibility. I don't think so. I mean, no, I don't. Let's just say no. They couldn't really move the ball in the red zone against the Browns, and the Ravens are a pretty good defense as well. So I don't see it happening.
Is Lamar a top 5 quarterback this week?
He's right at number 5. Yeah.
Where's Hurts?
Where's Hurts? 6, 7.
I thought you were going to say 4. So you would start Lamar over Hurts this week?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. That's been a debate. I've seen a lot.
They are really, really close. I was asked the same question the other day, and I was like, I mean, they're gonna do the same thing pretty much. So it's not. And it also depends what Lamar shows up. And I mean, he's been rock solid the past couple weeks. So if he keeps on doing that, I really think they're going to do the exact same thing. I mean, they have the same play style for the most part. I mean, yeah, they're both going to run for about 75 yards and probably have 3 total touchdowns apiece.
Plus, Hurts has the advantage of defenses haven't really had the chance to scheme for him yet, whereas Lamar was saying early in the year that defenses are literally predicting which plays are coming their way. They've been too predictable on offense, apparently. But seems like they fixed that. I like Lamar a lot this week, even though the Giants have looked pretty solid on defense as of late. But I really like him this week. I'm not benching Lamar in my championship, not getting cute. Not that I really have the option against you, but that would be a tough decision with Hurts. Right. That being said, Dobbins, I think, is a great opportunity here with Mark Ingram out. Who knows? Maybe Mark Ingram is active this week, but he's been a healthy scratch. I don't expect that to change. I like Dobbins a lot more now that it's more of an even split with him and Gus Edwards as opposed to a 3-man committee. Where do you have Dobbins in your running back rankings this week?
I'm a little bit behind on rankings, but I'd give him around the 20 spot. I think he's getting the majority of the carries, I wouldn't say the bulk by any means, but he's getting, 13 to 15, which is enough for him to produce. He's not really getting any passing down work, so he's a little bit touchdown dependent. But it really depends on how much they ride them. I mean, Chubb had a difficult time getting going against that big Giants front line on defense. So it really depends on if he can get it going against them, which I think he can. I think he's a talented player. So, yeah, I think he's good for 80 yards and a touchdown, which kind of seems to be his stat line as of late.
Okay, fair enough. Anything else you want to say about this game, Tucker? Because I think New York, that if you're in a position where you're starting Gallman, you're probably starting Wayne Gallman, and that's probably about it.
If you're in a position where you're starting Wayne Gallman, you're probably not in the championship. I hate to say
that's
it.
Very true. And if you are, you probably don't have much of a chance of winning. But that being said, Wayne Gallman is okay.
Yeah, no, he'll be fine. And that's, I don't really like anything else from this game. Running backs and Lamar, that's pretty much it.
Okay, let's take it to Cincinnati, Houston. You absolutely love Giovanni Bernard in this one. I want you to give me a 15-second sales pitch on why people who are rostering Gio should start him this week.
All right, so as long as Joe Mixon is still on IR, and Gio is there, Gio will be the guy who gets the bulk of the carries. He had 25 touches last week, 25 carries last week, plus passes. He had a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown. I think he has that upside with Finley. They ran the ball like over between the two of them like 30 something times, which just looks really good to me. I mean, every time Gio's getting the bulk of the carries, he has a really productive game, and they have no reason not to just say, all right, Joe, keep saying out. Gio, we're giving it to you.
Okay. All right. Let's you know what? I will let you have your opinion and we'll leave it at
and
that.
the Texans' run defense is horrible. Anyways.
That is true. That's an undeniable fact at this point. Houston, Deshaun could have a big game here. Problem is, I don't know that I see it being much of a shootout. The game has an over-under of 46 points. Houston's favored by 7.5. You have to wonder if maybe this is more of a David Johnson game. We saw him have 11 receptions last week.
Yeah, I think so.
Could be another heavy David Johnson week against a team that I think isn't as good as. I mean, they beat Pittsburgh, but I think it's more of Pittsburgh isn't as good as they appear versus Cincinnati's actually good. They had a great win, but I would take Houston here absolutely.
Yep, I probably agree there. However, the Bengals beat the Steelers. How did they do that? How did they do that, Steven? How did they beat the Steelers? They rode on Gio Bernard's back, so that is all.
I would love to make some sort of bet with you about Gio this week. I'm just really excited. Who are you deciding between for your flex spot, by the way?
Dobbins and Bernard. It's pretty much
the best part about that is one of those guys is guaranteed to get 20 plus, and the other is guaranteed to get under 10, and the one who goes off will be on your bench. I just know it. And I can't wait. It's gonna eat you alive. Like having two flex options to choose between the championship must be torture. I cannot imagine how you must be. That sucks.
It's rough. It's rough. It's the only thing worse is probably the potential of not having a second running back on your team. So, that's you. That's you. What's up? Get out of here.
Let's talk later this week when
you're gonna be shaking in your little boots. All right.
Okay, moving on. We have the Denver Broncos and the LA Chargers. I like Drew Lock in this one. I feel like he's got some sneaky upside. I feel like he's a very boom or bust quarterback. I was checking out his numbers for the season. Guess how many games he has on 11 points or lower this season. Out of 10 games played, guess how many he had 11 points or fewer?
I'd say 2.
4.
Okay, that's more than I thought.
And he had 2 13-point games. Now, guess how many games he's had over 25 points?
2.
Yes, correct.
There we go.
So he's had a 25-point and a 29-point game. So he's shown the upside, but he is the definition of boomer bust at quarterback. I have my whole upside chart for the upside DFS article I do every week for Fantasy Pros. He's got one of the lowest. He's in the bottom tier of downside. He has a lot of downside compared to quarterbacks, but he has a score of 3.3 in the upside. That's higher than a lot of guys. That's higher than Bridgewater, higher than Roethlisberger, Cam Newton, Minshew, of course, Sam Darnold. It's right up there with Baker Mayfield. So he has a lot of upside. I actually really like him this week. Went down a rabbit hole there, but I like Drew Lock as a cheap DFS play this week. I think he has upside in a game that has an over-under of 48.5, which isn't high, but it also isn't low. So could see Drew Lock throwing the ball to keep up with Herbert this week.
Yeah, he wouldn't be my DFS play, but I mean, trying to get cute in DFS, why not, right? I mean,
look how cheap he is. He's super cheap in DFS this week. He's one of the lowest priced quarterbacks. So just as a bargain play, if you're trying to load
yeah,
up the rest of your lineup, I don't hate it.
yeah, not at all, not at all. The Chargers secondary has been struggling, so it's not bad, not a bad look. I know Joey Bosa got a little banged up in the last game, so maybe he's not there. That certainly would also help. Anyways, I like the Chargers side of the ball a whole lot more. Just naturally, Keenan Allen, Eckler. As long as Eckler's fully healthy, which he should be, he's got a long rest. He was limited in the last game, but hopefully he's healthy, ready to go. For my sake, for fantasy owners' sake, I think you'll end up seeing a lot of people in fantasy championships with Chubb or Eckler, people who managed to scrape by a couple wins like me, and then they finally came back and led them through the playoffs. It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm terrified of Eckler this week. I really am. I'm really concerned. I think Eckler is really underrated this week, especially in DFS. I think he's so underrated this week. I'd assume he's fully healthy. I knew he was limited in snaps last week. I guess we'll see the practice reports, but I'm assuming, given that he played, that he's going to have had enough rest to be a normal, slate of reps. But I guess we'll see on that one.
Yeah, that game was early last week. He gets until the 4:00 game on Sunday. He should be good to go. That's my bet.
Okay. Carolina, Washington. We saw DJ Moore explode, as I was hoping would happen all season. Had 19 PPR points. I love to see that. Robbie Anderson didn't get much attention. It finally seems like Teddy Bridgewater is realizing that he should throw the ball to DJ Moore, because good things will happen when he does that. Are you finally going to concede that DJ Moore is the top receiver in this offense, the wide receiver one of Carolina's offense?
Yeah. At this point, I will.
I've been waiting all season.
At this point, I will.
Are you serious?
You got me. Yeah.
I didn't expect that. I got to be honest. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. Apparently, I'm a sweetheart today. I'm a sweetheart. It's fine.
Okay. Well, we're at it. Joe Mixon.
I will cede that. Yeah, Joe Mixon, I'm not coming around on. Sorry, bud. But but no, I will see that DJ Moore he seems to be the wide receiver one at this point. I was correct at the time when I said it was Robbie Anderson. It has just switched. That is all. And it did take me probably up until this point to really feel that way, by the way. It's not like a anyway.
Next up, Tucker admits that Claypool is not a wide receiver one, and Travis Fulgham isn't even rosterable.
I would never do that. I can't go back on my boys.
One can hope.
No, but DJ Moore, yeah, I think he's the guy there. I mean, it's still a really difficult matchup with Washington. I think anyone playing against Washington at any position is going to have a really, really rough time. They're very, very good defense. I don't expect any of the Panthers receivers to be great plays this week. That's my take on the matter. I know you probably feel different, and if you would like to tell me something else that you might know.
Yeah, love DJ Moore as a wide receiver too. Curtis Samuel as a desperation flex. Outside of that, you're in dangerous territory. I'm not starting anyone else. I can't name any other Panthers receivers. I mean, sure, Robbie Anderson if you need it, but I wouldn't be too excited about it. DJ Moore is the only guy I want to start in the Carolina receiving corps. Mike Davis or Christian McCaffrey, we don't know yet. I'd assume it's Mike Davis. Going to be a hard day. Washington front is tough. And then it seems like Alex Smith might have to play this week. We'll see what happens. But J.D. McKissick, if Gibson, a lot is up in the air with this offense this week, so it's kind of hard to say with any confidence what's going to happen because we don't know who's playing quarterback. We don't know if Antonio Gibson is back. It sounds like he will be, but that's 100% up in the air. We haven't heard any practice reports yet. So this one will just kind of be one to watch to form an idea of what we should expect from Washington's offense.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard any more about the Dwayne Haskins incident, if he's out this week. The last I heard was they are handling it internally, which means we don't have other quarterback options. We might have to keep Haskins.
Exactly.
So I think Haskins is kept maybe another week, and then he's cut. I don't know. But when you go out partying in a world that we're living in, like we are, it definitely puts a little target on your back.
Did he throw like 2 picks that day too?
Yeah, he didn't even have a good day. Did not even have a good day. I mean, did they even win that game? No, they lost. They lost 15-20, and he threw 2 picks, and then he went out and celebrated. Come on, man.
That's tough. That's tough.
Come on, man.
Philly, Dallas. We talked about Jalen Hurts already. Dallas, we talked about pretty much already too. I think this comes down to Jalen Hurts is a great play. Hurts could be a league winner, and Pollard could be a league winner. Pollard, depending on Zeke's health. But this should be a fun matchup. I really like those two players this week, assuming Zeke sits. And I think Goddard is going to be a great play too at tight end. I really like him in DFS. I think he's still pretty underpriced for what he offers you in terms of consistency matched with upside. I know I'm benching him for Kittle, but I said what I said. I really like this. We saw a bad week from Amari Cooper last week in Dallas. Tucker, tell us why you're trusting him again this week.
That's his second bad game all year. He's been very consistent outside of that. Way more consistent than he normally is. It did worry me a little bit just seeing him put up that number. It felt like old Amari Cooper. I don't think they go back to that. I mean, the Eagles' secondary is not good. We saw them get just gouged by Kyler Murray last week. So I do expect him to bounce back. I expect the whole offense to bounce back a little bit. It could have been very Tony Pollard based. Maybe they were just like, we can just let him run the ball. We don't really need to throw that much, risk turning the ball over. But if Zeke's back, I think the offense gets back to normal. I think if Pollard's back, even Amari Cooper can produce again. Just a bad week.
Okay. How many weeks do you think Amari Cooper has had over 23 points this season?
Over 23? 3?
Yeah.
4? 4. Let's go 4.
1.
Okay. I mean, he's been very consistent in the 15 to 18 range, so that's what I like.
That's true. He has been, according to my metrics, he has been pretty solid. I'd say he's based on what I'm seeing here, he's definitely a low end wide receiver 1. Okay. I agree with what you said there. I think he bounces back this week. And if Jalen Reagor plays, I don't hate him. Honestly, he's getting targeted pretty heavily by Jalen Hurts. It's a game where Hurts is going to throw the ball a lot. But given that he's coming off an injury, I mean, I wouldn't trust him in the championship round. But this will be just a fun one to watch because I like Jalen Reagor, and I think he's a good receiver. So it'll just be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'd say even with Hurts, the only receiver I'd really feel good about playing is Goddard. He seemed to really like him. I think he went to Goddard on both his attempts for the game-winning score last week. Yep. In fact, you saw him as they were lining up to make those throw. He looked at Goddard and you could almost tell he was going, "It's coming to you, buddy." Which is pretty funny. He almost caught one of them, not both. One. Goddard's the only one I'd be interested in.
Fair enough. Moving on to LA, Seattle. Russ has stopped cooking late in the season. We've seen Seattle do this time and time again. I feel like this is they go run heavy near the end of the season, but also I feel like Russ just isn't playing as well. He's turning the ball over a lot, not completing the balls he was completing early in the season. And now a bad spot to be in to try and change that narrative against LA. Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, tough spot for Russ. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, both. DK Metcalf had a down week, but Tyler Lockett really hasn't done much ever since that crazy game. Would you start both of those guys this week, or if you're starting just one, which one?
Not excited about Lockett. I'm not excited about Lockett. I would not want to play him, honestly. It just doesn't feel good. Metcalf, obviously, you got to start him. even against Ramsey, I think he'll be fine. But yeah, hopefully that down week didn't kill your chances of a championship. That's the real struggle. I do like Carson. I think he'll be solid. But other than that, no, I don't like Lockett. Don't feel comfortable with it.
Fair enough. LA will be without Cam Akers. It appears it could be Darrell Henderson and Cam Akers splitting snaps. Which of the two do you like better?
I mean, it's Darrell Henderson. He was the guy before Cam Akers took over, and I mean he's going to get probably 15.
Did I say Darrell Henderson and Cam Akers splitting?
I mean, I don't remember, but I know
Darrell Henderson and
Malcolm Brown. Malcolm Brown. Yep. I think it should be Darrell Henderson with Malcolm Brown probably getting some goal line work. But Darrell Henderson I like for 15 carries, kind of what his stat line was pre the Cam Akers breakout. It stinks for Cam Akers, but Darrell Henderson's not a bad flex.
Yep,
other than that, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, those are your guys.
Yep, agreed. Let's move on to Tennessee Green Bay. This is the game I'm most excited about this week. Over under of a whopping 56 points. I want to start everyone in this. I want to start Corey Davis, AJ Brown, Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones, I think, is going to have a monster game with Jamal Williams probably sitting this one out. He got injured last week. And whenever Jamal Williams is out and Aaron Jones gets the full bell cow workload, he tends to eat. So I really like him in this one. And then, of course, Rodgers and Devontae Adams going up against this Titans secondary. It's just automatic. I don't have anything else to say about the Packers offense.
No, yeah, I agree with you on all cylinders. I think Derrick Henry eats this game. I really do.
It's going to destroy.
Yeah, thank God I was able to get past him last week.
Yeah, between you and John, I would rather have played you because John with Henry this week and Tyreek Hill against
such a threat, man. Derrick Henry scored 25 points last week, and I was like, bless, that's huge. Wow, crazy.
Yeah, Tennessee, love everyone. Corey Davis, AJ Brown, Tannehill. I think Tannehill, like, people sleep on him. He's been so good. I wrote about him in my upside plays column last week and was hyped because he finished as a top 5 quarterback, maybe top 3. He had a crazy game. It's just because people are like, oh, they're just going to turn to Derrick Henry for the – yeah, well, Henry is constantly putting the Titans in scoring positions, and Tannehill sometimes reaps the benefit of that. He had 37 points last week. I like him a lot this week as well. He's still well priced in DFS just because for those same reasons, I feel. So I love Tannehill this week and most weeks.
Yep. Start everyone. Got nothing else.
And our last matchup, Buffalo, New England. Do you think the Patriots can slow down Buffalo, Tucker?
I think Buffalo absolutely slaughters them. It's not going to be pretty. They can't slow them down, and they can't score. I mean, there's still a possibility of Damian Harris being out, and he's their best player. So hold on. Correct me if I'm wrong. Cam Newton has thrown for 5 touchdowns this year. 5? I'm correct. That's all you need to know. I'm correct. 5 touchdowns, 10 interceptions is his stat line. Okay. Horrible. Do not play a Patriot. You will be sad if you do. Don't play any of them. As for the Bills, you're safe with Allen, safe with Diggs. Ideally, you're not starting either their running backs, even against the Patriots. Well, the Patriots aren't a bad defense, but ideally, you're not starting either of those running backs. Still, even with Singletary's little, with his big game last week, I guess.
His little.
His little big game. I don't know what I was gonna say there. Even with
it's like when he called Ben DiNucci a kid.
Am I wrong?
And he's an NFL player.
I'm older than him, so
really,
he's a rookie, isn't he?
Dang, that's weird to think about, actually.
Yeah.
And DiNucci age. He's 24.
When's his
Actually,
birthday?
He's older than you. He's older than
Damn
you.
it.
He's older than you. His birthday is November 24th, 96.
No, that means I'm older. I'm older. now. Hold on.
You're
I got him, I
September.
got him, I
You're
got him.
September.
I'm
Right?
September. Yeah.
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 Dang
Little
it.
kid.
Dang it.
Little kid.
Yeah, I think the Patriots are toast. Bills are going to eat in this one. I like Cole Beasley as well. John Brown should be able to return for this one, which will be interesting. But given that the Bills are in a good spot, maybe they don't rush him back. I feel like he'll play though. I feel like he is ready. Are you starting any Patriots?
I don't think so. Jacoby Myers had a good game last week, but it's. I mean, that's his first good game in weeks, so I can't really trust it. And then so no. I think my answer is no. And with Gilmore out, I think Diggs is even better. Diggs should be fantastic, and so should Allen this week.
Okay, should be an absolute bloodbath. We'll see. That's all for our matchups this week. Tucker, I just want to wrap this up. Score prediction for our matchup in the championship this week. Let's hear it.
So my team's been averaging about 155, like I told you, which should be pretty intimidating to you.
Wait, over what period of time?
Sorry, the last 4 weeks, which are the only important weeks of the season.
Okay.
And your team put up a 180 bomb last week, which is also pretty scary. Oh, God. So I have to factor in Pollard maybe playing in my prediction. So let's say our game is 160 me, 147 you. That's my prediction.
Oh, wow. Okay, hold on one sec. Running a quick calculation here. What did you say you were averaging over the last?
155.
What are you saying? 155? Okay.
Yeah.
Over the last 4 weeks, I am averaging.
Okay, you can't factor in your.
I think I did the math wrong because it says 111. my week 12.
Please tell me that's right.
My week 12 was 107. My week 13 was 138. My week 14 was 133, and my week 15 was 188. So,
ooh, that seems like an outlier if I've ever seen one in my life.
my team did peak a little early. Like everyone played pretty much at their ceiling. I think I'll get a game. I think I'll have a solid game, maybe 145 to your. I'm gonna have to give myself more points if I want to beat you. Yep. Give my team 151. Give yours 139.
Wow. All right. 160 to 137 or 147. That's my.
I'm not gonna lie. I really think Amari Cooper is gonna hurt you this week, and I think you're gonna make the wrong. You're gonna make the wrong call. You're gonna make the wrong call between Dobbins and Bernard. I just know that.
I'm gonna wait on some reports before I make that call, but we'll see.
You do that. Bury your face in the books because
I think you are going to get what's the right word? I think you are going to get destroyed by the lack of injuries this week.
We'll see,
minus Kittle, because Kittle is going to hurt you, and then Zeke is going to play and Gaskin's going to play. You're going to have a rough one.
I can't believe I'm in a position. I really am in a bad spot if Zeke and Gaskin play. That's worst case scenario. I don't have an answer. Like I should have had Mostert, but he is out. Like that's a tough spot for me to be in. Like I need one of the I can't be starting Ito Smith in the championship. That's just not an option. That's just not an option. So
I don't think you can do it out of principle. You just have to start someone else.
I think at that point I'm just starting Pollard and hoping that Zeke is not going to actually.
That's fair. That's a good call.
Anyways, should be a fun one. We'll be back with the recap next week. Tucker,
yes, sir.
I'll see you on Sunday, my man.
Yes, sir. Best of luck to you, Steven.
Best of luck to you too, sir. Lineup Legends out.
Peace.